Hello, my name is Buster Bootlace and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about Wangan Warrior X and to give away some free keys for Late Night 1320, so stay tuned. So the first thing, I wanted to talk about Wangan Warrior X because I've been following the development of the game ever since it was first announced by Cloudweight Studios, but then we didn't really hear much more about it. And if you saw my last video on Late Night 1320, you'll see that I was going through the updates and the news, and it starts to refer to Wangan Warrior X. So I found that quite interesting. And you can see here, this is Late Night 1320, but you can see that Wangan Warrior X is referenced at the very beginning. This is Cloudweight Studios that release JVNA Shikai and also tried to release Wangan Warrior X back in January 2018. This is the Cloudweight Studios. I created Wangan Warrior X a long time ago as part of my journey into racing games. I learned some lessons and also gained some worthwhile knowledge when making it. It is indeed a full game, but he didn't originally intend on releasing it because of course he was working on JVNA Shikai. Whilst making JVNA Shikai, I decided to put back physics and graphics advances to see what Wangan Warrior X would look like. I decided to keep it in and fix the game up a little bit, and it seemed worthy of its own release. So Wangan Warrior X is basically a recreation of the old Wangan Midnight Maximum Tune and these old Japanese cabinet racers. But he envisioned a modern take on that with modern graphics and maybe modern ideas. So anyway, it went along and the release was delayed for some bugs that he picked up, and then Valve was being a pain is what he said. So Steam allowed the demo to go on, but they never allowed the full game to go on. So to keep things short, Steam keeps denying the build of the main game. I won't go into the details as I'm under an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, but I'm in contact with Steam via email to sort the problem out, as the main game shouldn't be getting denied whilst the demo was approved. So that was that, 5th of February 2018, and then 19th of February 2018, he goes on to say that Valve is still being difficult and they're not allowing his full game to go onto Steam, but he was considering alternative releases on GameJolt, Itchy.io and Good Old Games, but then it all went silent. And it wasn't until February 2019 when we saw the announcement of Late Night 1320. On my last video, like I said, I touched onto this, and the developers of Late Night 1320, Purple Shadow Interactive, contacted me because they saw the video, and it was really cool of them to contact me actually, and they said they liked the video, and we started talking about Wangan Warrior X. So I had some questions, and so we were going back and forth a bit, having a good chat. I was chatting to Kenny, really nice guy actually, and the guys are really cool at Purple Shadow Interactive. So we got talking about Wangan Warrior X, and it's not completely off the table. It's a possibility that the full game of Wangan Warrior X will still be released in the future at some point. But for now, Purple Shadow Interactive want to focus on getting their foot in the door and getting their name known and releasing and working on Late Night 1320, because they were explaining that back in 2018 they purchased Wangan Warrior X from Cloudweight Studios. The idea was it was supposed to be some kind of like a learning exercise. What they did was they reverse engineered Wangan Warrior X, and some of the coding from Wangan Warrior X has ended up in Late Night 1320. So my assumptions were more or less right, on the right track. But I asked him a few more questions, and we got and it was really interesting. He explains that it had a relatively short life on Steam, and that it was a fully functional game, had UI, races, AI, traffic, etc. But he said it lacked a good map design. So he was explaining that the models weren't that great of quality, and they weren't mapped quite right, and there's no story at all to it. The lighting code is completely absent and only relies on real-time lighting, much like the old PS3 games. And he was explaining that the game used a basic rendering system that's sort of similar to Gran Turismo 5. And the engine code, and it also used quite old engine coding, which dates back to about 2014. And the sounds are quite lacking, but the overall game has its kind of roots set in the 2013 indie racing scene as opposed to something more modern. But he explained that it still plays well and it's still a lot of fun, but they explained that the real treasure was the code, and that's what they used a lot of the coding in Late Night 1320. What it looks like, the main issue with getting Wangan Warrior X up and to a point where it's ready to be sold is the map. So they want to get a nice big map of Tokyo, and they've talked about using some sort of laser scanning, which is the sort of thing used in Wangan Midnight. But of course it's very expensive, or they could start putting something together manually, which would take a long time. But ultimately it's really exciting that Wangan Warrior X is still possibly on the table, and hopefully in the future we might see a full release of Wangan Warrior X. And we were talking about this, like the thought of like an online multiplayer where you've got free roam, you can drive around the Tokyo motorways and race each other. I think it would be a lot of fun, and who knows, perhaps that's on the table for some time in the future. But naturally, with any small development studios, you've got to weigh up the risk versus budget, and of course the risk of failing completely, and this is a problem. But the guys at Purple Shadow Interactive seem like they've got a good head on their shoulders and they know what they're doing, and I really do have a lot of faith in them, and I think that they're going to do some really good stuff. The first thing, I suppose, is it's important for them to get their foot in the door and to get known, and if of course they make enough sales of Late Night 1320, it's absolutely a possibility that they'll start putting money into Wangan Warrior X, or maybe even do a crowdfunding, which I think will be a good idea. But I think that they first need to get the name of the studio out there, perhaps get some sales on Late Night 1320, and once people start to be aware of the name and the game, especially if people are looking for a modern Wangan racer, I think the crowdfunding could be a really, really good idea, and it could possibly work really well for them. Let's have a little reminder of. So this is what it looked like. There are some pictures knocking about still of what it was going to be. It's very interesting, and I think this is just going to be brilliant. And I really support the studios. I really support Purple Shadow Interactive. I think it could be amazing to see this game release. I mean, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see what happens and what's happening in the future. So watch this space. Hopefully, maybe I don't know, maybe I could even ask Kenny nicely, maybe we can do like a Skype conversation or something. I don't know, maybe to see what happens. But I think this is really interesting, and I wanted to sort of touch on this because Wangan Warrior X is something that I would love to see, and at the moment it's still cool to see what happens with Late Night 1320, because like they were saying that, so they used Wangan Warrior X as like a learning project where they reverse engineered it, and a lot of the code ended up in Late Night 1320. And Kenny kindly offered me 2 keys for Late Night 1320. So if you're interested, please put a comment in this video, and perhaps in say about the 17th of May or something, we'll do a draw on the comments. So if you're interested in winning a free copy of Late Night 1320, make sure you put a comment below. It can be anything at all, but you need to put a comment on the video so that I can put you in the draw. So we've got 2 keys up for grabs. Make sure you put a comment below to be in the chance of winning one. This is of course for PC, so if you've got a PC and you're interested, please put a comment down below. I'm super excited to see what's around the corner. These guys seem like they've got good heads on their shoulders, they know what they're doing it right, and I really hope to see them do good things. So, and join me if you're not lucky enough to win a free copy of Late Night 1320, make sure you go out and buy it, because it's going to help support this awesome team of developers, and this is what we want to see. This is why I love indie developed games, because there's no boundaries. It's just all about what the people want. And stay tuned, I'm hopefully going to be doing a new video tomorrow, and that will probably be the career mode on SLRR. So stay tuned, lots of cool things coming. Thank you very much for watching. Whoever you are, wherever you are, have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one.